I've been using Pop! OS, Linux Mint, Ubuntu, and Fedora lately. And honestly, this comparison started because I was getting bored of my usual setup. I wanted to see which Linux distro actually felt good to use day to day, not just what looks good on a features list, but what I'd realistically keep installed after a few weeks. So, first impressions. Linux Mint immediately felt comfortable, like slipping back into Windows, but calmer. Ubuntu felt familiar too, but more polished and modern, almost like it wants to be everyone's Linux. Fedora, on the other hand, felt serious. Clean, fast, but also like it expected me to know what I was doing. And Pop! OS? That one felt different right away. More opinionated, more focused, like it was built for people who sit at their computers for long hours. Installing Linux Mint was almost boring, in a good way. Everything just worked. I was up and running fast, and I didn't really have to think. The menus made sense, I didn't get lost, and I remember thinking, yeah, this is why people recommend Mint to beginners. Nothing surprised me, but nothing annoyed me either. Ubuntu was smooth, but I'll be honest, I kept running into small, why is this like that moments. Apps opening as snaps felt a bit slower, and I caught myself waiting an extra second here and there. Not a deal breaker, but noticeable. That said, whenever I Googled anything, Ubuntu had answers everywhere. It felt safe. Fedora was interesting. I loved how clean and fast it felt, but I also felt slightly on edge using it. Updates came quickly, and a couple of times I thought, okay, I hope nothing breaks. Setting up basic stuff took more effort, and I had one moment where I spent way too long fixing something that would have just worked on Mint or Ubuntu. But when it worked, it really worked. Pop! OS surprised me the most. The NVIDIA drivers just worked out of the box, which I didn't expect. The tiling workflow actually clicked after a day, and suddenly I was moving windows around like I knew what I was doing. It felt powerful, but also a bit different. There was a learning curve, and at first I kept pressing the wrong shortcuts. Comparing them side by side, Mint felt relaxing, Ubuntu felt reliable, Fedora felt sharp but demanding, and Pop! OS felt optimized and intense. When I just wanted to get work done without thinking, Mint won. When I wanted support and stability, Ubuntu made sense. Fedora felt great for experimenting, and Pop! OS felt like the one I'd choose if performance really mattered. Personally, if I had to pick one to keep right now, I'd go with Pop! OS, but only because it matched how I work. For beginners, I'd still recommend Mint without hesitation. And that's my real-world experience after spending time with all four. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe for more great tutorials and reviews.